Good morning guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. I'm not going to be talking much at all this video, my throat's gotten even worse. It's hurting like crazy. So I've got a cold. Yep, it's definitely cold. So yay, but the show must go on. If you didn't see yesterday's video on this Legacy, basically I'm installing 2 amplifiers, a subwoofer in a box, a stereo and 4 speakers, and running a whole lot of wires, as you can tell by the state of the car. Where I'm up to is mounting the rear speakers, and then I go to the front speakers, still go to the power wires, still got to mount the amplifier, still got to put the stereo on, connect it all, get it tuned, put it all back together. Busy day. Hopefully I get it all done. The first thing I need to do though is cut out some of this metal because it's in the way and hitting the speaker. I'm hoping I may actually just be able to cut out a section at the bottom and the top where the wider parts of the speaker are. So I'm just gonna go straight from this onto a time lapse and try and get all the speakers done. Cheers for tuning in. Okay guys, so I got the back speakers in and done. Oh wait, I was going to show you them before I put the door cuts back on. I forgot. Back speakers are done. Moving on to the front ones. I'm going to use those pods that he supplied. So the front speakers, I've got these plastic pods here which Phil supplied, and these should just, have I got the right one? Angled so that the speaker fires out the door on an angle, and they line up the screw holes pretty perfectly. Yep, pretty much perfectly, and then hopefully this speaker will just sit in it. And come on. Yep, we'll be all good I think if I use that. I do want to strengthen these pods a wee bit though, just because they are quite thin, flimsy plastic. So I'm going to try and strengthen them with a bit of dynamite I think. Or maybe I could just fill in that whole inside bit with hot glue, that might be a good idea. I might try that. Okay guys, so with mounting these front speakers, as you know I'm using these pod things here, I filled the back side of them up with hot glue, so now they're a lot, you know, sort of more heavy and rigid and less flexible. But I also want to I thought about using foam tape or RTV to seal that on there, but I didn't think it was going to work too well. So what I decided to do is I'm going to wrap a piece of this dynamite, once this is on here, around that inside and kind of fold it over, and that will A, seal it, and B, make it even more rigid. So that's what I need to try and do now. Oh, and I've also put the crimps on the end and mounted the crossover up here. It's just a little inline heat shrink crossover with the wires coming down to here, and that will connect onto the tweeter. Now I should just be able to like screw this on. I also cut the, what do you call it, this plastic stuff, like the weather shield, away a wee bit so it creates a better connection between the baffle and the other ring of metal that's in there. Oh, one thing I might do before I do the sound deadening is get the drill and follow a couple of these holes through to the metal, because yeah, that one's different. There we go. There was 2 layers of metal, which is why that was hard. See, I can see a gap down here between the plastic and that, so that's why I need to seal it. I could squirt some RTV in there, that'd probably work just as well. See if this dynamite thing will do the circle. Oh yeah, looks like it will. Pretty well, perfectly. That's what I want to do. Wrap that in there. Let's try and just seal up a couple of these gaps a bit better. Get RTV around most of the circle, but only about maybe 2/3 I can actually get to it. Alright, now this dynamite thing. Let's try it. Start at the widest point, which would make sense, wouldn't it? matted hole. That looks good. I like that idea. That pod is way deader than it would have been there. There we go. Done. It's good. I like the way that's turned out. I'm much happier with that pod now that it's got that hot glue and dynamite in it. Because before they were just like, you could pinch them with your fingers. Cool, so now the tweeter. So for the tweeter, I elected to put it on the first tweeter pod, which is on the door card up here, rather than like the triangle location one. That one was going to be real hard to get out of its spot, whereas this has like a nice angled mount pre-made for it. And I think this is the right hand side one, I need the left hand side one. And the way I've secured the tweeter is just with a bit of RTV, just to glue it on there pretty much. Hopefully it's dried enough now that it's not going to slide down and fall off. That'd be a wee bit annoying. Please stay there. Let me just, still drying a wee bit, but I think we'll be alright. So now with my battery tester, I should be able to pop this speaker. All good. The other thing I'm also going to do for the tweeter is the Alpine tweeters come with these nice little foam O-ring things. So I'm going to glue these to the door card so that it pushes up against the tweeter and treble only makes it out of the door rather than bouncing around. Just like that. And now treble should just fire straight out of that, and I think this is ready to go on now. Okay, so I've got the two front doors done, the tweeters are in, the woofers are in, on their pods and everything's done. I haven't got the doors fully back together yet though, they're just popped into place. I haven't put the screws or the coverings or anything back on yet though, because I've just got a slight concern about how close the woofers are to the panel, but I want to wait until I've got the amplifier in and do a test and see if it's going to cause any rattle or anything like that. And if it doesn't, then I can finish putting it back together. But I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I may have to do a modification at the end or something. So what I'm going to do now is the remote and power wires for the amplifier. Just wanted to interrupt the time lapse real quick to show you guys something, how I got the power wires through. So I've been running like the 4 gauge around the front, and it's still all one piece at the moment. As you can see here's one end of it, and the other end, oh you can't see it now because it's ducking off across there, but it's still connected. So what I did was I got my metal mouse wire through the grommet, attached a piece of 8 gauge to it and got the 8 gauge through the grommet, which is this piece that you see here. And then the 8 gauge steps up to a piece of 4 gauge here, which then stops dead at where the T-spec 4 gauge is doubled over. And so basically it went 8, 4, and then there's still some 8 gauge left here with the 2 4s. And I basically just stepped up bit by bit, used some silicone spray and pulled it through, and it worked pretty well. So now I'm going to be able to like get the wires to the length they need in the car, and then chop it at halfway point here and connect it to the fuse holder. Okay, so good news, I've got enough power wire to pretty much perfectly reach both amplifiers. That one and this one. Both of them run up to the same grommet. And pop out here, and there's actually a decent amount more here than I need, because I'm going to probably put the fuse holder around here somewhere, and there's a decent amount there. So I think what I'll do now is get the fuse holder mounted. I'm going to try and build like a little bracket for it to go there, and we'll go from there. I'll probably just use a piece of back strap under that bolt, I think. Okay, got the bonnet side of things done, apart from connected to the battery, that's the next step. But I've got the 2 power wires coming out. Deceptively those are the same length, I just need to cable tie them a wee bit. Got my dual fuse holder here, piece of 1 gauge going in, 2 fuses, 1 for each amp, and then 4 gauge out to each amp. Obviously I haven't put the fuses in yet because I don't want it to be live just yet, even though the battery is disconnected. Just on a little piece of bracket to hold it there. Now I just need to connect this up. Ow! And that is how you take skin off. I need a breaker bar, I think, because that's Yep, bleeding. There we go. Got it on. I had to modify this plastic covering a wee bit to allow the big cable to go into it, but it's on there, not going anywhere. I can put this cover back on, but only thing I've got left to do under here when the time comes is put the fuses in. Oh wait, no, I have to still put the negative on the battery. No, I can't do that yet. My bad. Okay guys, made some progress. Sorry I didn't just film the last hour or two, just because I wanted to get some stuff done. I'm slow on time and the cold is holding me back on the filming side of things, sorry. But anyway, I've got pretty much all the wires run, like all of them. Obviously the RCAs are done, the speaker wires are done. I've got my power wires done that you guys saw. I've just done my remote wires to both sides, and I've done my grounds as well. And there's a couple of factory M6 holes over here in front of these rails that I was able to use. That side has the fuel popper thing mounted to it over top of the crimp, but that's fine. And I've just run the subwoofer wire as well to the boot. So I'm ready now to vacuum this whole floor. I'm going to give it a clean out from, get rid of all this grit and dust and stuff, and then I can finally put the carpet back in. And once I got the carpet in, I can look at getting the amps situated in place and mounted. Finally. So now I have to give it a vacuum. Okay guys, so amps are both in, wired up, preliminarily tuned, like kind of just at a guess. Haven't set up the gains really yet, but that seat's bolted down at the moment just because I had to make up like a big spacer to lift up one of the corners because it actually was coming down and touching on the amp. It was such a tight fit. And this one's a pretty close fit as well, but it does just fit. That one is secured, the one that's under that seat is secured to the factory Macintosh mounting points. This one is just kind of secured via its own weight and screws in each corner going through the carpet. I can't go through the floor on this one with like screws all the way through because there's a great big plastic hull under here and I don't know what's under that. There could be fuel lines or there could be a fuel tank. So I can't put any screws through the floor. So that's just going to have to sit there for now. So now that I've got the amps in, and the fuse is on and the battery's back on and everything like that, I can rock the seat forward and start putting the head unit in and try and get some sound out of the system. Yeah. Okay, let's try and put this guy in. Got my loom, that plugs in. Microphone, I've labelled these. Front, rear, sub. Okay, stereo still turns on obviously. Dimmer. Let's just start the car. No fault lights, so that's good. Okay,
what
let's
kind
go
of
in.
chaos do we have to look for?
cut the video here, guys. It's been a long, hot and sniffly day, and I've started putting it back together. Like, I've got the center console and the glove box back in. Tomorrow's just going to be about basically getting the car the rest of the way back together, getting the seats properly bolted down. But after I do that, I want to make sure I've just got the amps tuned to perfection and things like that. And also, I need to secure the sub in the sub box and do like the interior wiring and maybe some Dacron fillet as well, because at the moment I've just got it sitting in here. I was running it in a wee bit. But anyway, you guys can see all of that in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for, dealing with me sounding weird and looking pissed off. Catch you guys tomorrow. Cheers. Hey guys, how's it going? It's the next day. The cold and the sore throat and the sniffles have fully taken hold now. So I don't really feel like filming much, but I get that I've already started this project, so I'm going to try and just time lapse the rest of it, and I'll check back in with you guys once the job is pretty much done. So hope you guys understand. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, well, the Legacy is finally done. Let me give you a quick run over and show you everything that I've done, just in case you've missed the previous video or whatever. Sorry, I'm just feeling real crappy at the moment. So in the boot, we've got the Rockford Fosgate P3 12-inch subwoofer mounted into his ported box that he supplied, and it's strapped down so that it can't fly around or anything like that. I'll show you. So there's these straps in the back here, which are just like, clip removable. This part is elastic, and those straps go down under the carpet sort of stuff here, and the XS just sits there. His supplied Bodgeman speakers in the back, supplied Alpine Type S components in the front, Alpine CDE 164 EBT mounted through this Macintosh unit. He's done that himself. Click up here if you want to see how I did the same thing myself up around this corner. I'll put a card up for my video. Under the driver's seat, you won't be able to see it because this has a flap on the front of it, but there's a Alpine V-Power amplifier powering the subwoofer, and under the passenger seat, the Infinity 4-channel amp powering all the speakers. Up under the bonnet, got a nice big heavy piece of 1 gauge wire going to a dual fuse holder by T-Spec, 80 amps per amp, 80 amps per amplifier, and then a 4 gauge wire going to each amplifier. And that's pretty much the gist of the job, guys. It's taken me a while, longer than it would have if I was feeling healthy and energetic. but I've just all of a sudden come down with a really bad like nasal cold, and it just makes everything miserable and slow moving. But thank you for watching this video, or these videos, guys. Thank you for putting up with me being and sad and slow, and also sorry about how disconjointed the filming no doubt was. It's really hard to think about, you know, doing the job and doing the filming at the same time when your brain is too busy focusing on being stuffy and everything like that. So thank you for watching these videos, guys. Phil, I hope you're happy with your car and you enjoy it. It's been, I'd like to say fun working on your car, but that'd just be a straight out lie. It's been a mission, but I'm glad I could help you out, and I hope you enjoy it in the future, and I'm looking forward to the rest of my videos. Just quickly before I go, I will give you a quick demo. I'll try. Let's close all the doors and stuff like that. Okay, got a pretty bassy song coming up here, Cutthroat.
Yo, bitch, we keep it cutthroat, choking on a gun smoke, 6-shot revolver, Russian roulette, certified pros, man, you fucking with some vets. Give my respect when I walk in the room. Hoes go nuts when the bass goes boom. Stepping up, basically, homie, that's suicide. We hustle hard and mash it out until the day we die. Super fly, super fresh, wild, wild west.
Good bit of bass there. I think he'll be real happy with that. I've just realised the only thing I've got left to do is quickly take these TV aerials off the windscreen and clean that up for him. But that's it, and then the job will be done. He can come and collect it. Hope he's happy. Hope you're happy, Phil, because I know you watch these videos. Hopefully this is the last time you guys have to see me looking miserable as fuck. Because to be honest, if I was feeling sick before I started working on this car, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have filmed it. I would have just taken some pictures. But since I'd already started filming it while I was still feeling okay-ish, that meant that I feel like that meant I had to, you know, follow through on the filming and the project videos. So that's why I'm still uploading the video of me looking as miserable as I do. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Sounds really good in here. The clarity is pretty decent. It's not as, like, because they're Alpine Type S speakers in the front. I think Alpine Type R's definitely have some better clarity to them. Honestly, not too sure what to say about the Bodgemans. They sound pretty bog standard to me, like nothing amazing but not bad. And as far as like tuning the settings and everything goes, I've just got the speaker amp on all pass mode for all the speakers, and then use the built-in crossover calibrator on the stereo. So I've set all the speakers to about 80 Hz at a 12 to 18 dB slope, and the subwoofer at 80 Hz low pass filter at a 12 dB slope. So that's one good thing I like about good stereos, is you don't have to worry about crossover calibration on the amps. You can just use it built into the stereo. As for the gains, I feel like the speakers are way more sensitive than the sub, so the sub amp had to be up a wee bit on the gain side of things, and then I had to turn the amp for the speakers down a notch, because even though they've both got relatively the same sort of power output or power consumption, the speakers are definitely way more sensitive to it than the sub is, because it's a good beefy sub, that Rockford one. So that's why I had to turn the gain on the sub amp up and the gains on the speaker channel down. So yeah, it sounds good. Personally, I do prefer a sealed enclosure box. I just don't like that spike in the sound, and I feel like the higher frequencies coming from subwoofers perform better in a sealed enclosure, whereas ported enclosures only make real low frequencies. It's all personal preference. If you prefer a ported enclosure, that's totally fine. I think I'll always be a sealed guy, because it's way more linear and you get the warmer frequencies, less of the just the hard hit stuff, and more, you know, mid bass as well as sub bass. So yeah, that's my opinion on sub boxes. So thanks, Phil, for letting me work on your car. Thanks everyone for watching. Choose to be happy, unlike I am doing right now. Choose to be happy, and I'll catch you in my next video. Ka kite ana.